Okay, so I think we're now live. Can you hear me and can you hear the other guys when they're saying something? That would be great. Perhaps you can, the people that are already there that can post something in the chat to see. Yeah, so, okay, let me just change this. Okay, so welcome to another episode of the Notion stream. And hello, Camille, and hello, Natascha. Great to have you here.
Thank you. Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Okay, I see comments. Yes, we can hear you. Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you. Hello, Alex. Hello, Gina. Hello, Robert. Great to have you here. Great to see you. And if you want to share with us, we would love to know where you're watching from. Where are you right now and where you're watching from? That's always great to know. Okay, so another person dropping in. Hello, Richmond. Very nice to see you. So
cool.
There's a slight delay for me on the chat, so I might react late on your messages, just that you know, but we're gonna read through the chat and Natascha's gonna help me with the chat as always. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Columbus.
Wow.
Okay. Very good. Hello
cool.
from the other side of the pond.
Super nice.
Fantastic. So Alex is somewhere in Eastern Europe, I think.
Yes.
I know
I was
that.
trying to remember also.
I'm not sure if he's currently
In
traveling
Krakow,
in Europe.
right?
I've seen that he's
Yeah,
running
Krakow.
a trip.
Krakow, he said, yeah.
Gina in Netherlands. Ooh.
Oh, very good. Neverland in the middle of nowhere. But somewhere in Germany, I think, Gina.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Lüneburger Heide. That's very nice there. Very, very nice.
Is it like the countryside?
Yeah, I've never been there, to be honest, but it's very flat. I think Gina would agree. But it's beautiful. It's like a national park in Germany. It's protected.
Nice.
Yeah. So I just got back from Belgium and the Netherlands. That's amazing.
I remember.
And Robert, I can't remember if Robert is in Spain, also in Europe, or actually in the US.
Robert, let us know.
Let us know. Let's see if we keep up. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and we'll see.
Okay, we're gonna take a few minutes to let people drop in. Oh, Cardiff. Very
Europe,
good, Robert.
but nowhere.
Yeah, slightly off, Camille, but no worries.
You had your wild card.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so another question that we'd love to ask you is, what is your favorite GIF?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you want to post a link in the chat, then we can all have a laugh. So if you want to.
And maybe if the link doesn't show up, maybe write some text and then paste the link in it. Sometimes it's being filtered out automatically.
Exactly, by the YouTube spam filter. Yeah. And if it's a really good GIF, if I really, really like it, and if Natascha likes it, it's gonna make it on the stream at some point.
Oh, yes.
Let's promise that. I'm not sure if it's gonna make it on the stream today, but perhaps the next time. So. Hello, Thomas, another German here. Nice. Good to see you. Heidelberg. Very good. Okay. So I would say let's start officially. So welcome once again to the Notion stream, and great to have you all here hanging out with us. A few words about us. Natascha and me, we're hosting the Notion stream, and we're both certified Notion consultants, and we help people, get their tasks done better with Notion, and we're building custom Notion workspaces, and the Notion the Notion stream is a project that we started just because we're so passionate about the Notion community and all the amazing creators that are within the community. And we really want to give them a platform for creative people that have used and utilized Notion to create amazing things. And there's so many people out there, German-speaking creators, but also many international creators that do amazing things with Notion. And we have a different guest every single week that presents a special aspect of Notion or talks about something around Notion. And this week, I'm very, very, very excited to have Camille here. Camille Blanchod is our guest. I hope I did that. I have a German accent when I speak French. I admit that. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
But I do my best. So Camille, she is a Notion consultant as well, and she's also a Notion ambassador. So we're together in the ambassador community, and we got to know each other there. And we also did together the Notion Nets magazine project. So we're all part of that. And you, Camille, you're an organization and design lover, and you said to me before this live stream that you find in Notion an unmatched flexibility that allows you to create freely whatever is on your mind. And I think that is a beautiful sentence. And I think that is something that I feel about Notion as well, and that drew me toward Notion, and perhaps Natascha, for you as well. Yeah,
thank you.
Indeed.
I tried to make it as poetic as I could.
Very poetic, very, very poetic.
Thank you.
So Camille, you're here today to talk to us about your Notion communities. It's not only one, but several Notion communities that you're managing and you're nurturing with your work. And your French Notion community recently passed the 1,000th member. So amazing, really. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
And we're really happy to hear what you have to say about how to build a Notion community, what is needed, how to engage the people there, how you got to that point of the 1,000 members, and what your communities look like. So I'm really, really happy to pass the word on to you. And then we're going to have loads of questions. And of course, if you have any questions, you can just ask your questions in the chat. And it's always helpful if you have a little Q and a colon before your message in the chat, before your comment, so Natascha can see it better and can pass it on to me so I can ask the question to Camille later in the show. Okay, but that was a very, 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 very long talk. So let's just start. And Camille, the stage is yours.
Wow. Well, first of all, thank you once again for the invitation. I'm super grateful for that. Super amazed by obviously all that you do and all that we've been doing together also, as you said, on the Notionet and other projects. But this is obviously a great platform, and I'm super happy to be here today. Many things to say. Should we start with like a specific question maybe regarding the...
So the first question that I would like to know is, how was your journey with those communities? Basically, how did you get the idea to start this? Did you do it on your own? Did you have help? And how did they evolve? Because I think that's really interesting for people to know that might want to start their own community or might want to be involved in community work, like how that journey is and how you went from A to B, so to speak.
That's a great question. It's been a fantastic journey, and I wasn't too sure it was going to work out in the beginning, honestly, because so to put the context a little bit, there was some mini communities about Notion in French, but it was like, for example, one meetup group in a specific city in Nantes with like a couple of people there. Then it was like one Facebook group, but it was not exactly super active. like small groups here and there, but nothing that seemed to me like actually structured. And I thought to myself, and also unified. It's too bad, right? Because there's obviously a lot of information about Notion in English on the internet. But at the time when I first started having the idea, so last year, around this time actually, around July, August, I was thinking, it's too bad that, for example, someone that might want to start using Notion but doesn't speak English that well, doesn't have access to information like to guides or tutorials. And I was like, we need to do something about this. We need to make it happen. So basically, that was the first realization. I was like, oh, this doesn't exist. It would be a great thing if it actually did. So I started basically researching for like communities and also influent people, let's say, or people that already started creating content around Notion in French. And I just started contacting them and saying, hey, I've had this idea. Like, what do you think about making an actual, unified and structured community about Notion in French? And thankfully, a few of them agreed. Not everybody was available for that, because you have to know that managing a community and creating one from scratch is quite some work ahead.
Oh yes, it is.
Yeah. But if you do it as a team, obviously it's easier. So even before that, I started creating a website, which is not the one that you can see right now. It was a previous version on Notion, a very simple, like some landing page, let's say, with a few tips here and there. And then eventually we moved on to this website later on this year. And in between, I started meeting with some people, talking about the idea. And finally, with some of them, we agreed on taking on this project, and actually had a lot of brainstorming sessions on what was the best move, what kind of name we should take so that it would be unified and that we would have it all over, like all the platforms.
We know
And
that
also,
problem. Yep.
yeah.
Same.
Yeah, because it's pretty important if you want people to remember actually, okay, this is the community. You cannot have one name on Facebook and then another name on, I don't know, Discord or Slack or whatever it is. You have to have some sort of branding applied. So that was basically the initial part of the creation or pre-creation. And then it was just a bunch of work, actually getting to create the website, create the Discord server, and then actually talking about it, which was, in my opinion, most of the work, because like the technical aspect of it takes some time, takes some work, but it's fine. But then getting the word out and making sure that people join you, because in our case we decided to not exactly move away from the Facebook group, but sort of keep it, but not have the main activities and engagement, let's say, over there, because it's hard. It's hard to manage a Facebook group and to make it really interactive, let's say.
Absolutely.
So we actually decided to move over to Discord, and it's not easy because in France, Discord is mainly used for gamers, not really, for something that is sort of professional. So it was a challenge. We're like, is this the good idea? Like, is it gonna work? But turns out that the actual features of Discord are honestly the best for our use case, let's say. So,
and
yeah.
Is the community only limited to people from France or French-speaking overall? Because Jill posted an interesting question if the community is open to French-speaking people from Switzerland.
Yes. Actually, I would say like about a third of our members are from Canada, Switzerland, Belgium, a few countries in Africa. Also, I was looking at the analytics the other day on Discord, and obviously, Quebec also. So yeah, it's open to any French speaker.
So you're quite international, and that's a big pro, I guess. I mean, could be perhaps for some cases could be a challenge as well. I don't know, but yeah.
Time zone wise, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought about.
Yeah, thankfully not so much, because we don't have. I mean, obviously, yes, if we think about events, that's where time zones are really more complicated. But otherwise, like if it's just like a casual chat, since it's asynchronous anyway, it doesn't really bother anyone. I think. But yeah.
So did I get that right? The community is consisting of two parts, your website and the Discord channel, or are there more parts of the community?
Yeah, there is more. The website it lacks some work, like we need to have more content on it, like more actual guides. That's in the work. Otherwise, we have the Facebook group that is still used by some people that don't want to move over to Discord. That's why we didn't close it. We're like, okay, we still need the space for those people. And then we have also the Twitter account that is mainly just to share news. There's not much interaction going on, but it's just to share news, important updates about Notion itself or the Notion community.
Okay.
You also mentioned previously that you did not focus on the Facebook group. Specifically, Richmond asked something in the chat why you find it difficult. If you could elaborate on that a bit.
Well, the previous admins, because when I came in the mix, they had the Facebook group for a few months already. I would say like 6 to 8 months at that point, and they were saying that there is not a lot of interaction. I mean, people would go there only to ask a question, but then that's it. They would not really share what they were doing or what they found, like if they found a template or something.
So not a community sense, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was more like, I have a question, I go there to ask my question, have it solved, but not really.
Facebook help desk for Notion.
Yeah, it was working a bit more like that. And also it's hard to keep up, like, I mean, there's less things that you can do with a Facebook group compared to Discord, because you can do pretty much the same on Discord and have like live events, whether it's videos or just talking like this, audio. So it's usually better.
Oh, interesting.
More interactive, at least.
Okay, so should we have a look at your website and at the Discord channel perhaps as well?
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Let's go. All right. I'm gonna put it in full screen. So that is the website that I actually made on, I think it was in April this year. That is a bit better than what we had previously. So basically, what you want to do, you want to talk with people, you go to the Discord. If you want to learn more, you can read the guides. You can also check out the courses that exist in French. This is about us, about the community, what we do. This I need to update because we obviously, as you see here, we got over that, and also Facebook is not updated either. Then we talk about the live sessions that we do sometimes, some of the templates from the community, the latest one, and then contact us. And basically, it's a simple website that could have more content. I'm really sorry. I don't know why it's a bit slow.
Don't worry. It might be the stream as well.
Maybe I should not click every word. But maybe, let me see. Could it be from the... Might be my connection. Well, we'll see it soon. But yeah, basically, okay, so here we have some of the templates that people share with us, actually in the Discord or on Facebook. Like, usually it's free templates. And then if it wants to upload properly, what we do is like each of them has a specific page, and then you can have the link to find it and to download it. Let's take this one, for example. Some sort of like marketplace for French templates.
Wow, that's like, really elaborate.
But it's a simple one.
Yeah, I really love the idea of having a marketplace. So it's you said mostly free templates, or do you have some that are that you pay for?
I think there's like this one. I think is paid right here. The about the pod, this one here. But I would say that 99% of them are free. Yeah, if I remember correctly. Well, it's still charging. I don't know if we're gonna end up seeing it. But yeah, basically,
maybe
so
you click and wait, and we just continue talking until it's loading.
Exactly.
Yes. So I would love to know how many people are the main organizational team of the community, for example.
So the team, as we like this team of Notion en français, we are 4. That's 3 admins, including me, and a moderator. But it's going to change soon because one of the admin is actually leaving for other projects, and the moderator stays, but we might get more moderators and also a new admin eventually. So there's going to be some changes. But so far, it's been the 3 of us and one moderator, which is really helpful.
And do you have clear roles in how you split the work? Because I can imagine it's kind of challenging with 4 people and such a mostly like, like freelance, not freelance, like mostly unpaid work to how to split the work.
We do actually. One of the admin is mostly taking care of the Facebook group. Like that's her role. Actually, make sure that the newcomers are following the rules and just accepting them and all of that. Another one was mostly, actually taking care of the community in the sense like engaging a lot on Discord and answering questions and just trying to make a lot of events or activities. So she was mostly in charge of that. On my end, I'm taking care of the website, of the Twitter account, and also, on the Discord, I'm trying to be around as much as possible if needed. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
So that's very clear. You have a very clear structure. Okay, I can imagine that's a good tip for people who want to start out a community. First of all, to get support, do not try to do it on your own. And second of all, to have it clear from the beginning who is doing what. Would you agree?
Definitely. And also, like, don't be afraid of having different levels, let's say, of participation, or because we do have not only this, let's say, nucleus of the team, but we also added new roles on Discord. Some of them are some of them are animators, for example. So it's going to be people that will mostly be around to do live events. There's also a role called helper, if we can call it like that. And basically, it's people that are available on the Discord server to answer questions. If other people have some questions about Notion and they're really needing some help, those people volunteered to be tagged so that they could get some help. So yeah, it can be more of not say full-time, but a more committed role like admin or moderator, but it can also be something more chill in a way. It's fine. It's great actually to have so many levels because we know who to reach in case we need help with this or that.
And do you rotate these roles, or are they more or less fixed?
They're fixed, but people can decide if they want to be assigned those things. Basically, they have an option on the Discord where they can assign themselves a role, and if one day they don't want it anymore, they just unclick it and it goes away.
So you manage that via Discord as well. That's very interesting. Okay. So the team communication is also in Discord?
Most of it, yeah. We try to do also live calls. Obviously, it's easier sometimes to make sure that we all are on, like we all agree with everything, and that we know what to do next. But yeah, most of it was in Discord.
All right. Okay. Should we continue with the? Oh, sorry, Natascha. Did you want to ask something?
Yeah, a technical question. I assume you also looked at Slack. So what spoke at the end for Discord?
Because I think, some people use Slack also in France, but Slack is even more like having too much of a professional vibe, let's say, or like a cliche. Whereas like it's weird. It's really about the perception of people of the tool, especially in your country, which can vary a lot. But Slack is not that used. It is used, but obviously not as used in France as it is, for example, in the UK, the US, and it has this professional setting vibe. So I don't think people would come and have some fun, let's say, especially because they might have a Slack account but related to work, whereas they could just create a brand new Discord account, or they might have communities like gaming communities or artistic ones and just join us for sort of a fun topic.
So it's all about the association
Yeah.
or the context where they normally use it.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's not an app where you hang out, right?
No, not really.
And Discord is that because of the association with gamers. I mean, I guess that's an upside of the association with gamers, that
Yeah.
it's somewhere where people perhaps are already. Some people know it from their gaming, and it's more casual, I would
Exactly. Yeah.
say. It's the same. I would say it's the same in Germany. Just we also have the thing that it's mostly used by gamers and no one else knows it really. Like unless you use Notion, because I mean Notion is very active in general on Discord as well.
That is true.
So the general English Notion channel, in case someone is interested and doesn't know that yet, but probably everyone in the chat is knowing that already. I assume. Okay, so should we continue with the website?
Yeah, let's hope that it works a bit better.
Fingers crossed.
But basically, yeah, so that would be it. I'm not going to go full screen, but you have the title of the website, who created it, of the website, sorry, the template, a little preview, and then you have the linked, the like redirection link. So yeah, all of them have this little like, how can I say, not profile, but preview, And I mean, we haven't had much feedback on that. I don't know if it's been used or not. We might need, usually some of them have way more like description under here, you know. But also, I mean, the idea is not necessarily to make a full-on marketplace. It's more like if you need something easily, but usually they are shared on Discord, so they have more context also to why it's been created and who for, and sometimes it's really specific to a question someone else asked. So yeah. Then we have the courses, and some more are being created and launched, so I need to add the new ones. But yeah, basically, who created it? What's the title of the course? Is it free? Is it paid? Who is it for exactly? If it's for newbies or, you know, intermediate. And then you can click on the link to actually see the landing page of each of them. The events might be not up to date. I need to check it out. Yep, that's one more luck. But yeah, we do some sort of like event page so that we, you know, people can see what's up and what's coming. So there's that. There's the resources. This is just a few things, like a few lists, but also can be used for, I mean, there's more to be added. It's really simple. But yeah, the team. So the three of us, the three admins and our moderator, and where to contact us, just in case. And then the contact form. So quite simple. Yeah, and the guides, almost forgot. So far there's only 2, but a few more are being worked on right now as we speak. So that's it for the website. It's quite simple, I would say, but we hope to make more content. It's just that it's hard, even being just the 4 of us, knowing that it's not our full-time job or like even part-time job. It's just another volunteer activity. Obviously, there's so much we want to do, but time is limited, right? So that's it for now. I can show the, whoops, there we go, the Facebook group.
Right
now. Yep, there we go. There's not much to show, honestly. I mean, besides the few topics that we have mostly questions. But as you can see, sometimes it's also templates that are being shared. Another question. So yeah, I would say it's mostly people asking questions. Still now, even though what we tried to do at some point was, you know, trying to engage a bit more, you know, asking questions ourselves about what use case are people using Notion for, you know, those kind of things. But it's just not working out so well on Facebook. And actually, yeah, we're also getting close to 1,000. So that's great. Back then, when we started it, I think, I mean, as we started all together, it was around, I would say, 300 or 400 members. So
wow, that's really cool. Congrats.
Yeah. Thank you.
In which time period is that?
Sorry?
In which time period is that? When did you start out?
We started off officially, like the website was created, the initial website was created in September last year, and we created the Discord server, launched it in February this year. So yeah, we went from 0 to 1,000 between February and now.
Wow.
So that's great. And yeah, Facebook is growing slowly, but we've seen a big rise because it was at some sort of plateau for many, many months, and then slowly grew. So I think it's going to keep growing.
And how do you think people find you? Mainly over the website?
That's a great question. For Notion, like for the are you talking about the Discord server or the Facebook?
Oh,
group?
whatever. I was just imagining how, where what is the point of access or the first entry point? Is it the website that then offers the Discord to join that, or the Facebook group, or follow the Twitter channel? I was just wondering, do you know where people are coming from, or?
Yeah, I was looking at it. I mean, on Facebook, I don't know because I'm not personally having a look at the analytics. On Discord, it's mostly through an invite link or main invite link. So I guess it's a lot of word of mouth, and people actually in the presentation, whenever people come and have a little intro of themselves, usually they say, "Oh yeah, I came here on this group because of this person, or this person or this other community." So there's a lot of referral going on. Definitely. And the website is like third or fourth in terms of entry points.
Okay.
But it's not the main one.
And the other people, so to get it right, this is all volunteer work, right? This is all unpaid, like nobody gets paid for any position. Okay.
Yep.
And are you all Notion consultants, or somehow, like, do you get clients through that work, through referrals, because people know you from the community? Or what's the motivation of the people who work with you, basically?
Yeah. No, I might be the only one who might. I mean, I never got a client directly because of the community. It was just due to the fact that it gave me some audience, obviously, and more, I would say, authority. I don't like this word, but you know what I mean, like in the sense that I'm invested in this, like, and I'm trying to really spend a lot of time about thinking and creating around Notion. So in that sense, yes. Otherwise, I don't think I've ever gotten anyone contacting me through the community about this. But the other two admins are doing something completely different. One of them is a VA, and the other one is actually a community builder and just general. I can't remember the actual term in English, but she takes care of communities and she makes them grow. So that's her whole experience, and that's why she's been so great to have her on me, because it's like her experience shows. Definitely
great asset.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And yeah, I'm the only one who is actually a consultant, and the moderator is doing so many things, so many projects, but none of them at the moment are involved like around Notion. So
wow, so that for me shows, for anyone who's interested, that it's also possible to find people that are just motivated and just excited about the tool to basically get them on board and to build something with them, even if they don't have like a monetary gain for something like this. I think this is a really important point, because I mean, we're all passionate about what we're doing anyways. I would say. But I mean, it's really great that they're just doing it like that.
Yeah. What I've noticed is that at least two of them, for myself, it's a bit, I think it's the only projects that I do completely, I mean, in Notion it also like voluntary, but I've done volunteer work in the past. But two of the team members are really about, all about volunteering in general, on many different levels, let's say. So I think it's just a taste that we have for doing things. I know in my whole life, whenever I was working as a volunteer, it always felt different. It always felt better than doing it for money. I mean, even though, at the end of the day, you need money to live and all of that. We all know that. But just the satisfaction that you have, I mean, that I have within myself is different. It has nothing to do, so I know I'm doing it for my own, satisfaction, let's say.
Yeah, I can agree to that 100%. I also do like volunteering outside of any kind of scope of my profession, and I think it's just so rewarding because you get to know so many amazing people, I think, and you learn so much about yourself. I think that those would be my top two things that I take away from that.
Yeah, definitely.
Roxana says Notion community overall is just awesome. Yeah,
That's true.
I think we can all agree to that.
Yes.
That's true. That's
yeah.
true.
So Camille, do you want to show the Discord as well, or I don't know, like if you want to, then we can switch to that, and then I have some other questions for you if you're ready.
Perfect. There we go. So there's many channels, as you can see on the left. We try to regroup everything under many different categories. So you have the main one, the point of entry, where you have the rules, also the admins and like the roles in general, the invitation link, the website. This is just for all the how can I say that in English? I forgot the word. But any news.
Just announcements?
Yeah,
or
announcements. It's so close to announce. I don't know why I forgot.
Don't worry.
Always happens. Then you have the presentation channel, which is one of the most active, I would say. So everybody that comes in can, just present themselves. I just saw something from Ben right here. Yeah, Ben Smith. If you see us right now, there's a lot of tutorials being shared around here. That's where people can decide if they want to be like assigned the role of creator or the helper, the one I was saying before. And so basically, if I click now, I'm going to get the role, and if I unclick it, then I lose it. So then it shows up here. So we have Francisco over there, and then all those people are people that are okay, like they're fine of if they're being tagged in the proper channel, so that they can help somebody else. So that's honestly super nice. It's great that we have those kind of people that also do it.
That's a great feature. Yes, I agree that you can tag them.
Yeah.
Then you have the creators also. We thought it was going to be interesting in case we want to, I don't know, directly talk to those people, or just it gives them some audience and some visibility. So that's good. This is the more, well, as you can see, general channel where there's a lot of discussion going on. Really, a lot of it. I would say it's the main one, the one that has a lot of messages. And recently, Discord just launched threads, just like Slack. So this is part of general. So this is amazing. It's really great, because that way we can have like sub conversations, and that's gonna help a lot. So yeah, this one is blah blah.
I love it.
This one is the random channel for things that have nothing to do with Notion. This one is so that people can suggest things regarding the Discord server. This one is the suggestion regarding Notion that then we pile up and we send them to Notion.
Okay.
This one is brand new. It's gonna be about like job offers, or not exactly jobs, but like gigs regarding Notion. This one is, I'm not gonna click because those two, if you click, you're gonna go live talking.
Okay, yeah.
Actually speaking. But if people want to chat, they can also do that. This is usually hidden, and they're just being open during live sessions that we might have. So one is for the questions, one is like more of a general announcement, but they like really dedicated to just events. And this one is just for people to chat during the event. And then here, the resources. So we have one specific for guides, so like articles.
Can I ask something? So that means you are having live sessions, like video sessions, or live conversations within Discord?
The two of them, but mostly, what we like as the team is mostly like video, like what we're doing now, the stream. But some people can just hop in and talk with each other if they want to. And if they decide to, I don't know, share something, they can do it. So
But you kind of connected with YouTube that you then maybe post it over there, or
No, you can do it directly in Discord, but then we don't record it. I mean, if we do it, what we did for the past events was somebody was recording the screen while we were doing the event on Discord, and then we uploaded it to YouTube. Yeah. And then maybe I'll just go over the next ones. So the guides, mostly articles, templates. So then what I do is I pin the templates so that people can just go here and find all of them.
Ah, okay. That's very handy as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is quite useful. We have a dedicated channel for promotions. Whenever somebody wants to say something about a product or something that they want to promote, basically, and we try to make sure that people really respect that. Honestly, we have a great community. I would say that we have very, very, very little issues and very little troublemakers, which is a blessing. Because in the past, I used to, when I was a teenager, I used to manage a lot of forums, and it was not the same experience at all. So yeah. And then we have this one, which is also one of the most active ones, which is about questions, like questions and answers. As you can imagine, there's a lot of them being asked, and it's great. There's many people also do looms to answer a question of someone else. So like, it's amazing to see this amount of collaboration. This one is to share like widgets or plugins or things that you can use with Notion, like any kind of, for example, like chili pepper, obviously save to Notion, those kind of things. So if we have a new finding, we add it in here.
And is Discord always for free, or do you pay for it?
So far, it's been free. I actually don't know I think you can pay, but only if you want to add like specific features. But I think you can have like, I wouldn't say unlimited, but so far we have not reached any sort of a plafond. So I need to check it out actually, but so far it's been free. So
yeah, because Gina asked if that what you're showing us is here, if that's a paid version of Discord or not.
Nope. But thank you for the question, because I'm gonna have to think about it to make sure.
Not that you're running a limit, right?
But that's actually amazing that you can have like 1,000 people on there, and it can be so active, and it's still free.
Yeah. Discord is amazing. It's really, really a great tool. So I recommend, as you can imagine, I recommend Discord if you want to launch a community.
Did you develop these different channels over time, or did you first start with brainstorming what kind of topics that will occur, and then you've started with a basic set in the beginning? You've mentioned that you've been moderating other communities prior, so I think that experience also came into that.
Yeah, for sure. What we did was like create obviously the main section, like the welcoming section, all of the channels at once, then all the resources. The only new ones were the API channel and which one else did we? The statue, like one called Status Notion, which is just plugging statuses, updates from the Notion. I can't remember the actual handle, but there's a Twitter account from Notion about when there's a bug or something. So what we did was like plug it so people could actually see if something is going wrong directly in this channel. Those two are new. The rest, I would say, was mostly there. We did add a few things over time, but most of the structure was already done from the get-go, also with the permissions and all of that.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very structured. I like that you have the channels very structured and like different subfolders and everything, so you can find your way around pretty easily.
Yeah, I think it's actually one of the key points if you want to have, because it can be also for us as a user. If you just have one main, which is exactly what's happening with Facebook, if you have one, let's say, space, only one space to talk about anything, then people are not going to be feeling comfortable using that space to maybe do promotion or maybe talk about what they've been doing, Whereas if you have a section for more or less everything, they know that they can actually use this space and feel fine about it. No, it's not a question. Maybe I should not post this. No, it's fine. You can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's I think Facebook is really a pain, to be honest, when it comes to this, because I think you also need to do so much scrolling. Like, for example, in our Facebook group, there's an announcement at the top of the Facebook group page with like rules, and then you have to scroll down so much until you see the new comments, and then it's so easy to miss a new comment if you click on your notifications bubble, and then like your notification is gone, and then you're never gonna see if there's a comment added under the post that someone did. Like, so I really don't like that, to be honest.
Makes sense. Yeah, I agree with you.
Gina has a question. She is asking, do you talk more or write more in Discord? I would say you write more. That would be my guess, right?
Yes, exactly. We do. We really do talk more. I mean, write more than talk more. But we could. I mean, I know some people use the audio channel more than others, but I personally don't. Also, because I'm usually checking Discord like at night, so I'm not gonna start bothering people. But some people like it.
And if you have international people, I guess it's easier to write, right? Because it's asynchronous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so that was almost it, right? Was there anything else in the channel you want to show?
No, actually, no, like nothing specific. But yeah, you get the idea. We have a channel for almost everything. We don't have one for gifts, though.
Natascha will be very disappointed to hear that, I have to say.
Maybe I'll create it after.
I have a gift database in Note.
Oh my. I have to see that.
Yeah, you should do a video about that, Natascha. That's
just a 1 hour stream about my gift selection or what?
Yes, that's a completely untouched topic on Notion YouTube.
Yes, I agree. And so interesting.
I will watch it.
I think that's highly entertaining. I think there's YouTube videos with much less content that have 15 million views. So
yeah, the interesting thing is that when I have my gallery up with all my gifts and they are moving, my laptop starts to like turn off and the ventilator
take off.
It's like turning so quickly, as he said, will nearly take off. So don't have it as your home screen. That's what I would like to say.
Oh, that's very funny. So yeah, Camille, if you don't mind, I have a few more questions about how you nurturing the community. So first of all, I would like to elaborate a bit more on how you people get the people to engage more. What would be your top tips of engaging people? Because I think that's really relevant to all of us, since we're all, I think most of the people also in the chat are some kind of self-employed. And I think that's always a huge pain, like that you're posting something and there's absolute crickets. So I would love to hear your experience about that.
I would say it's obvious, but you have to be posting yourself quite a lot at the beginning. When there's absolutely crickets, as you said, you have to show up. You have to show up, and you have to actually talk, even if it feels like you're talking to yourself, but you need to do it so that they see it's not completely dead, because otherwise they might also not feel like something is happening. So that would be tip number one. Make sure that you also engage in the community. Tip number two, eventually you will have some people asking questions or posting something. Make sure that you depends on the platform, but make sure that you reply to that. Don't leave anything unanswered at the beginning, and if possible along the way, but definitely try to make sure that once you have somebody giving you their time and their thoughts, make sure to bounce back. And then eventually conversation will happen, and you might quickly actually see people that will obviously be more interested in the community, or just like have more time, or they seem like power users of the community. Make sure that you, in other conversations that are not made by them, maybe make sure to tag them or to ask for their opinion, so that they're gonna keep talking, and that way it keeps going. Then I think events are a great way to make it, like, how can I say, make sure that the people in the community know you a bit better than just through an avatar, and get a vibe from you, and get a grasp of who you are and what you're trying to achieve with the community. And it helps, because every time we've done an event, then we had more people, either commenting or more people referring to other people. So I think it's a great way to gain more engagement on the long run, because that they see you, they see that you're a human, and they just like you a bit more than if you just write text. So I'm trying to see if there is more, but yeah, basically ask questions. We tried to make a challenge also at some point, template creation challenge, which I gave like some sort of challenge. I was trying to find another word, but what was it actually? Hobbies. I said, let's, in June, or was it in May? I don't remember. Let's create a template about hobbies. And at the end of the month, we just share them all at the same time, the same day, and we see them. It's for free, and we just, check them out. It can be informational, or it can be practical, in the sense like you can use it to act to get a result from it, but it can also be just some sort of like landing page with tips and info. And it was great. We had like 15 people participating, which is not a lot, but still, like,
it's a big effort. So I think it's really a good percentage.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So, and it was fun to see that they were playing along, basically. So it's nice. It's nice.
Fantastic. I think there are 3 really, really good tips, especially tagging the people that are active in the community. I never thought about that, but that makes total sense.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it depends on them, but usually there are people that love to talk, and they're just happy to, be part of the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. So Roxana is asking, what has been your favorite experience so far from being part of the French-speaking Notion community?
It's a hard question, Roxana. Just overall, like, being able to meet so many like amazing people. I think that's it. I got to chat like whether it's on audio, like an actual phone call, or like videos. I did a lot of video meetings with some members, and it's just great, because many of them they're using Notion in their day-to-day life, but they're not working with Notion for Notion. Let's say they're just using it as a tool, like note-taking or task management or whatever. But it's been great to see a bit of their life and what they do and why they use it. And sometimes you really get to meet people that are just doing amazing things. So that's pretty cool.
Very cool. And something that would interest me, that I sometimes think about, because I mean, we're both doing, Natascha and me, we're both doing community work, and we're also both Notion consultants. And what would interest me is there a border for you between what you do within the community and where you draw a line, basically, and say, okay, like, I can't do that for free, I have to get paid? Because I think that's something that, if you're like doing volunteer work in the same area as you work in, this can be a challenge sometimes, that there are some very little and very rarely, but there are gonna be people that kind of want to get more, more and more and more. So how do you manage that?
Well, yeah, it's a great question. I usually I don't do a lot of like consulting on like just to solve an issue. I'm not doing a lot of troubleshooting. I'm not doing a lot of those kind of. I do a few like brainstorming, let's say consultancy sessions sometimes. But what I do the most is actual setup building and like designing. So this I never do in the community, like within the community. And if it's just answering questions, I used to do it even before being an ambassador, and I try to do it when I can. Obviously, my time now is a bit more limited, so that's not my priority anymore. But I still do it from time to time. Where I draw the line is like actual. If you want me to build anything for you, like a custom setup, then that's a no-no. And if you want me to or rework the one that you already have, no, I can help with a few things, like answering why this is not working. But yeah, I try to limit it there.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a good. Yeah, that's where I would draw the line for me as well. Yeah. Sometimes if someone wants like a really detailed, like ask me a really complex questions, like 10 lines or something. If it's the first question, I will answer it. Like if it's the first question ever that person asks me, but if that's the third question or something, I'm just gonna say, you can book me under this link.
Yeah. Because but it's fair.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that I thought, that where do you draw the line? I think if they're posting several questions, then I think one time it's good to say, here's a booking link. Or if it's a very detailed question, or a setup that you've showed and they want to dig deeper. So I think there as well.
Yeah, because I do think at some point it's also not fair toward your paying clients that just don't try to push the boundary, you know. For example, I have like a Notion Q&A that you can a Notion Q&A session that you can book on my website, which, you know, is 60-minute paid consulting, and so people are paying for that. So, but it's always an interesting question, I think.
It is because not everybody is able to have boundaries, right? It's not easy. Boundaries are not easy to apply, and definitely, I mean, if you don't have them, then you're eventually going to be putting yourself at risk in some aspect, like or at least shoot yourself in the foot. So
yeah, absolutely. So we're drawing close to the hour. And before people start leaving, I definitely want to share your Twitter handle. So the Twitter handle is on the screen now. And if you want to talk to Camille about building a community, or if you want to work with her, or if you have questions, then make sure to catch her on Twitter. That's where you're most active apart from Discord, right?
Yep. A bit too much. Sometimes.
Well, what is too much on Twitter? We don't know.
We don't know. That's true.
Yeah. So actually, that's a question that shot through my head as well. How many hours do you approximately spend each week on this kind of community work with your communities?
At the moment, the Portuguese one is still at the very baby stages, let's say. So we are doing mostly brainstorming and like it's not taking much time. I would say like half an hour at max. The French one, it depends if I have to do tasks related to the websites, because obviously it's going to take me more time. Otherwise, I would say 1 to 2 hours max, but usually I would say one. Thing is, I split it. I check it almost every day, see how it's going, if there's any messages or anything urgent. Most of the time it's not. It's just living its life by now. So yeah, there's obviously differences times, but I would say 1 to 2 hours a week.
So I assume that was more work before, right? Like when you were setting up everything and when you were creating the website and everything.
Yeah. Especially the website. It took me quite some time, even though it's a simple like WordPress website, and I use the template-ish that I modified, but still it takes some time to set it up. WordPress is not quick, unfortunately, in my opinion, to to set up. But yeah, at the beginning, it definitely, I don't know. I don't even know how many hours. We spent a lot of time making sure it was gonna.
Yeah. I thought so. But the website is really beautiful, Camille.
Thank
I have
you.
to tell you.
Agree.
Thank
Like,
you.
I think it's really good. Gina is saying, have to go. Thanks, Camille, for the look into your passion. Thanks, Dagmar and
Nice.
Natascha, for hosting. Thank you,
you.
Gina.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
So cool.
So last question, because I'm just personally so curious. So I can't hold back, even if it doesn't have to do anything with building communities around Notion. You're French and you're living in Portugal, and I know that you're traveling a lot, and I would just love to know how you got into that lifestyle and what made you basically, because I think being a Notion consultant is also connected to it, since it from my experience, it makes you basically location independent. So I would love to know about that.
Yeah, sure. I always like to talk about this. So I'm living in Portugal since 2018, early 2018, but I was already there the previous year. I spent a bit more than 6 months in 2017. Initially, it was a travel that was supposed to go across Spain, Portugal, Italy, Greece, and all of that. I went from France to Spain, Spain to Portugal, and I was like, oh my God. And I stopped. I stopped over there. I fell in love with the city. I fell in love with the people, the country in general. And yeah, it was really not intentional for me to move abroad and all of that. I knew that I was at a point in my life where I had to start over in some way. But I was not imagining like moving abroad, even though I was not against the idea, but it was not planned in any way. And I realized that it just made sense at the time. I was like, why not try it? Like I'm a bit of a irrational person sometimes. I go a lot with the flow. I go a lot with my instinct.
I love that.
I would call it intuitive and not irrational.
Yeah. That's a great way to say it. And it worked out super well. So, I mean, obviously up and down, because living abroad is not always easy, especially with the administration and trying to understand how a country works. And this is something we don't talk about enough, even if you stay in your own country. But just having a grasp of how your own country works in terms of like society, and organizations and all of that, and government, because it's not the same abroad. It might be similar, but it's never exactly the same, and it's a ride. So you have to be patient, definitely. And yeah, I always loved traveling ever since I don't know, ever since I was a kid, I guess. Even before I actually traveled, I remember when I was a young kid, I had a collection of books that was actually set up in a fake suitcase. It was so cool. Then you would open it up in two, and you had like, I don't know, maybe 8 mini books like this, and each of them was about a country. And I remember like just taking my little fake suitcase all over the place. So definitely always been interested in traveling. And yeah, it just happens to be. But I think for now, Portugal is going to be my home for a few years, definitely.
Can you speak Portuguese?
Yes, it's a bit of a broken Portuguese because I learned it just like this, like talking to people around. Never had any proper class except Duolingo at the beginning. But people understand me. People like talk to me. I can have a conversation about almost anything by now. But sometimes I'm lacking some words, and also it's tiring in the sense that it's not my third language in terms of like if I have to look at all the languages that I learned in the past. I think it's my 5th or 6th.
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
So it gets a bit tiring and exhausting to sometimes have to do the effort. As we get older, it's not getting any easier. Unfortunately. And yeah, but now it gets. I mean, the initial phase was extremely hard for me, especially because the sounds that exist in Portuguese are completely different to what we have in French. It's a lot more closed. Let's say it's a lot of nasal sounds that we don't really have in French. And at the beginning, I could not understand what they were actually saying. And also reproducing them took me a long time. But yeah,
I can imagine. Yeah. Yeah, Jill is saying in the comments, so true that countries work differently in ways you don't expect. After 7 years living in Switzerland, I continually come across those situations where you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes it's stuff that you cannot even begin to imagine. But then you're like, this is like this here.
I had the same experience, and it's actually encouraging that you had this experience in Europe as well, because I lived in Thailand for a while.
Wow.
and there sometimes I was completely lost. I mean, like, it's kind of easy in terms of the regulations because we didn't stay that long that we really had to bother about things too much, just a few months. But still, it's you still feel foreign, I think, also after surprisingly long time, and you grasp only then what it means to really like be part of a place or a community, be part of a community.
Definitely.
So that's again close and like doing the full circle.
Yeah. The community in the more local sense, for sure.
Exactly, in the offline
offline community.
Yeah.
I also notice when Dagmar and I talk about her plans, then with some legal aspects, that is so. I mean, we talk German, but it's a similar language and similar mindsets. But how states are being built and structured, and also what's being, I mean, even the words are different. So I have to make sense when she talks about or uses a certain word. I have to make sense of, that might be that word in my just with German. So I think if it's already there, it's also about concept that you have to figure out. And I imagine for both of you, when you lived in a foreign country, I assume you first thought of how is it in my country, and then kind of started to wrap that around or make references to the new environment until you then finally just got the entire structure independently without making references.
Exactly. I think it's like learning a foreign language, and first you translate from your own language into that language, and then at some point you don't need that extra wheel on your bike anymore. But that takes a lot of time, and I see that with my husband as well. He's Irish and he's learning German, and it's there's also such a cultural identity in the language. And I think, Natascha, that's what you said really well, that we're both talking German, but still you're like Swiss German and I'm German or Bavarian German or whatever, Franconian German. Never tell a Franconian that they're Bavarian because you're gonna get slapped.
It's among the three of us.
No, and that's so interesting, I think, and that makes travel so fascinating, I think, because there's so many things you learn about your own culture.
And also the way you think is so deeply linked to your native language. Like a simple thing, for example, the gender, which doesn't make, I think actually you also have gender in German, right? For objects, right?
Yeah.
Which is
3 genders,
oh my god. My god. But it's so disturbing. For example, like the simple word like travel, actually in French would be masculine, le voyage, but then here it's feminine. And it's those kind of things that actually don't make any sense because they don't have a gender. But like, I mean, they don't really have a gender. But then it's really hard for you to unlink it. And so many times I will use the wrong gender with this word, the Portuguese word, because for me that's the way I knew that travel is masculine. So now I always say that travel is masculine, even though, well, actually it's nothing, but but you get the point. And it's and also concept, like I think I like German. I mean, I never studied it, but from a few times, sometimes you see videos about funny words or things like this, and I think German would appeal to me in the sense that it's a lot of like constructed words
Mhm.
linked together,
It is,
which
yeah.
makes a lot of sense because sometimes words are so random, right? I mean, but we can go into a whole discussion another time about linguistics because I love this. But it's really interesting to see how the language that you've been taught as a kid can impact the way you think and the way
Mhm.
you see the world also.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is that we're still talking about communities, just in a different sense. You
That
know,
is true. That is true.
that this is also something, because I think community always means having like something that is common, and nowadays we're building that more online than perhaps, unfortunately, more online than we do that offline. But we need both worlds, and I think us living abroad makes us better community builders, because we understand the structure and the functionalities and the workings of community better,
That's true.
without wanting to sound arrogant if someone has never lived abroad. But I think that is something that is so noticeable about the Notion community, that there's so many completely international people there. And I think that's not a coincidence. I think that has to do something with the point that you think different when you travel a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Or you start to think different when you travel for a long time.
Yeah.
It impacts you a lot.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah. It's not something that is you're born into, in my mind. It's something that you develop when you travel a lot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I also do think that the environment where you live for some time has an impact on you or works on you. Because I grew up until I was little in a North African country, and once I visited a neighboring country, I felt immediately at home, and I couldn't explain why. And did that make me think about what happened? I mean, I've never been to that country, but it's also North Africa. So what's the difference? And it's I think it's also a cultural environment that is really deeply within you, especially from childhood on. So when even as an adult you live for quite some time somewhere, the environment works on you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think you have to be really stubborn to stay yourself. Like when you
yeah, for sure. Like really stubborn.
Yeah. Okay. So this has been so interesting. I mean, we're a bit over time, but I think this was such an interesting conversation about countries and communities, and I'm so happy that that we had you as a guest, Camille. That was really an absolute pleasure to have you
so
on
much.
the Notion stream. So thank you very much that you shared your learnings about growing a community. And yeah, thank you very, very
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
it's been really fun.
Sorry?
It's been really fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it was really fun for us as well. But it's always fun, isn't it, Natascha?
Yes, it is. And I think Jill just has a nice closing words shared in the chat.
That is very true. Yeah. That
really,
is
really
absolutely true. Yeah.
Yeah,
Notion is our digital home. We
our
don't need
international home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So nice.
Okay. So the next stream is gonna be on August 25, as always, in 2 weeks, on Wednesday at 7 p.m. German time. So it's in the normal schedule, and it's gonna be on Natascha's channel. So the other channel, we're always switching the channels. And Natascha, do you wanna tell us who's gonna be our guest?
Yes. And in 2 weeks we will have Fatma Batour live showing a setup in Notion, and the stream will be in German. She is a mathematics professor and uses it in her work environment as a teaching student, but also she is a politician beside that, and organizes her politics or her political activities in Notion. And we will see either one of them, or maybe even have an insight or a sneak peek into both worlds, how she organizes that. And I'm really curious to have a new person coming and who is not a Notion ambassador, but how they apply it bite on their own. And I think that's a really interesting insight of, and someone just starts building something on their own.
Absolutely. I'm curious as well. And
I need
perhaps
to
we
learn
have
German.
to, yeah, I just wanted to say, perhaps we have to add subtitles at some point.
Oof, that would be fantastic,
Yeah.
but a lot of work. But
Yeah, a lot of work, a lot of
Yeah.
work. Yeah, but
maybe the
we'll see.
automatic one though. Maybe YouTube has later on the automatic feature. I'm not sure
We'll
how it
have to
works.
look
but-
into that. Yeah, I'm not sure how.
It used to be automatic. That's what I remember that. I don't know if it's still automatic for live streams, but it's not when you upload something.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll look into that. Okay, so thank you for everyone who stayed until the end. We absolutely love you and adore you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out with us. It was an absolute joy, and we're happy if you're joining us the next time. Or if you don't speak German, join us the next time. We're having the English stream. We're always gonna post on Twitter at Natascha Book and at Dagmar Mehling. And we're going to keep you informed about the next English speaking live stream as well. Okay, so any last words, ladies?
No, you did a lovely roundup.
Okay, fantastic. So take care, have a great evening, and